Howdy, folks, and welcome to Moose Podcast number 309er. How you guys doing? Boy, last week, what a week. A lot of you, thank you so much, a lot of you were at the Photoshop World online conference last week. And your presence, let me tell you, it was a positive boost to all I was doing. I had 3 sessions on one day. You guys were there and you were supportive, and I can't thank you enough. That's big reason why I do those events, why I do the podcast, and I keep the website up and going is you folks. So thanks so much for all your positive feedback and being there for me. I am very grateful. Also want to thank my good friend at Bedford Camera, bedfords.com. Yep, I talk about them every week. And every week I get at least one love note, if not more, from folks who have had the Bedford experience of that great service, knowledge base, and inventory. And of course, killer price when you ask for that MOOSE discount. You see that 5% after the purchase? That is, that's what Bedford's does. They are just great folks. So thank them for sponsoring the Moves podcast. Keep calling them, whether you can spend money or not, because they're there for us photographers, and I very grateful. So thank you, bedfords.com. Let's see here. I got a couple of things, notes I need to talk about. One, I posted last week a video on the Z 404.5 lens. Got a lot of comments there on YouTube, as well as a number of emails from you folks. In the emails, a number of people are asking, why do I not do more videos? And you were very kind, but you said, why don't you do many of them? There's a couple reasons. One, there's all these, I don't call them, but basically outlines, cues, whatever you want to say that, videos should be doing this long and this and blah, 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 and I look at all these trends. I look at what you're supposed to do, not supposed to do. And well, I finally said, screw it, point blank. I'm just going to do the video. And if people like it, fine. If not, that's fine. So one of the things is it's a 12-minute video, which flies in the face of, you're supposed to have a video of 4 minutes or less. I can't begin to explain to people why a piece of gear, not only I like it, but why do I like it? How do I use it? Actually give information that is, I hope, useful in your photography process, gear buying process, the whole thing. So one reason why I haven't done a whole lot of videos is because I've just been trying to wrestle with all these things I'm supposed to do and not do, and then just deciding just to do my own thing and screw it. And the other thing is, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to come out with a new video every 3 days just so you look at me. It's kind of like I asked a number of friends of mine, why do photographers post so many pictures of themselves and none of their photographs? Well, I shouldn't say none, but you look at the percentage and there's like 20 pictures of them and 2 of their photographs. It's like, I don't want to see myself in a video a lot. So that's another part of the problem. I just don't, it's not about me. It's about my subject, my photographs. But I do appreciate all the love notes, and that's kind of the reason why though I'll try to get more frequent. I'll try to get more videos up, bottom line. The another email came in was about the Nikon SB5000 flash. Really hard to come by at the moment. And the person who emailed me asked, is there, they listed a bunch of other off-brand flashes and asked if I knew anything about it. And the one flash that wasn't on their list that I am now personally exploring is the ProPhoto A10. If you think the SB5000 is expensive, twice the price for the A10. With that said, I have to tell you that the ProPhoto A10, I asked my good friend Joe McNally, who shoots with them, his thoughts, and that convinced me to get the first one. And I can't tell you, enough how much I really like that Profoto A10. It's got a ton of power. That's one of the cool things about it. It has an amazing recycle time. Another cool thing about it. It fits into my other Profoto flashes. Another cool thing about it. But the most important thing, and just like what Joe told me, it's the actual quality of light coming from that flash that is absolutely it's over the moon. So, yeah, I'll be doing something on that flash. It might be my next video, in fact, because it solves some great problems, but it has gorgeous light. All right, let me just get right into this week's episode. Fail and overcome. I'm gonna start off. I got some quotes that I want to use in this episode. Just well, to reinforce some of the things I've said in the past and what I want to say today. The first one is one who fear failure limits his activities, said by Henry Ford. And that was one active guy. And I have to say that I know a lot of people who use the word fear in when they say they're gonna, they don't want to try something, they fear this, they fear that, or they are afraid. Afraid and fear, same thing. And it seems to me, and I'm an outsider looking in on their world and their photography, that right off the bat, they are just not putting the right foot, left foot, right foot. They're not moving forward. That fear of being, afraid of something often new, it stops a lot of the great things that are potentially out there. Now, failure, as I've said over and over again, is how we learn. If and only if we look at that failure and figure out to the best of our abilities how we failed, then how we can turn it around into a success. I am a firm believer that if all we had was success, then I don't think we would have the magical things we have today, from iPhones to rocket ships going to the moon and everything else, and failure. I don't want anybody to get hurt or lose their life. Photography isn't that kind of a win or lose proposition, but there's times where that failure can hurt so much you wish you were dead. Did a scary, scary thing this last week, and I was asked to do the Evening With program at Photoshop World, and to be on stage and you could say have to kind of put all your cards on the table. That's a real scary proposition, especially for me. I don't. You might think I'm an open book, but I'm far from it. I mean, I don't. If I go to a new event with new people, there's a lot of people. Yeah, I'm the one in the corner being very quiet. I'm not comfortable in those scenarios. So having to get out in front of a couple thousand people and put all your cards on the table, that's scary. And if I hadn't been doing presentations for over 30 years, I think I would have had to say, no, I can't do it when Scott called. But the, you know, when you do a presentation and you're in the front of the room talking and you look at the back, and this is in the old days, and I see my three projectors on their stand, and then I see the legs on one end of the table start to collapse, and all my projectors and slides sliding slowly off that table towards the floor. Yeah, that's when fear and failure take a whole nother level. So talking in front of people this day and age, when the presentation's in a computer and there's if you don't take the risk, you just don't move that ball forward, and that's really important. And it has to do with so many things. Another quote: "Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly." John F. Kennedy. Now, when I saw that one, I was thinking to myself, self, there are a whole lot of examples where, in my own career, I can put that quote directly to events. There are, I don't know how many, more than a dozen of the adventures that I have gone on in my career that I sunk in a lot of time, a lot of passion, a lot of money, and I came back with lots of great memories, and that was it. Now, the potential that I was hoping for these projects was, I'm not gonna say greatness, but to turn out content and a product that would go out and could perhaps reach people, change minds. The one thing I think about is first thing comes to mind is the documentary that we spent 3 years on. Brent, Jake, and I, with the C-47 hit or miss, bringing that back, that plane back to rescuing it, and then bringing it back to airworthy in the hopes of flying it over to England for the 70th anniversary of D-Day. And ha, I mean, the amount of capital we put in that project, I sit here and think about it now. I might start crying right now again. But I've done that many times, and the projects, they just don't come out to where I want them. But if I had to do it all over again, I would do the same thing. Not that I'm promoting that, you you spend a bunch of money in the hopes that it fails so you learn something from it. Not that at all. But how about let's just think about simple that gear purchase. I have I have that 805.6, and I bought it when it first came out before the price reduction. So I paid 18.6 or 18.7 for it. And that's a lot of money. And with the rule of thumb of for every dollar you spend in business, you have to earn five. That's a lot of money. But now, after all this period of time, right, that fear of of spending that money, that lens has earned its keep and way beyond the 1.1 to 5 ratio. So when you're looking at that gear, yes, in the very short term, you have to be realistic about that expenditure. But perhaps you could get past that fear and being afraid of buying it if you looked at the long term. It's just it's just a possible way of, again, moving that ball forward. And that's really I want you all to know that no matter what photographer you talk to, if they're being honest with themselves and you, they will have story after story after story of failure. Um, eh, that's part of this process of being not just a photographer, not being just a visual storyteller, but being human and dealing with having to put yourself out there for everyone to judge. And let me tell you, this is a very judgmental world if you haven't noticed. You build on failure. You use it as a stepping stone. Johnny Cash. That quote, I think, is really just hits the nail right on the head. If you don't embrace that failure, you're not stepping forward. If you embrace that failure, it's just like Johnny says, it's a stepping stone to the next stone you're going to be working on. Um, I can't express enough how much admiration I have for many folks who are um, disabled in some sense. I hate the word disabled because I think that is it. These people I'm thinking about this one gal I met, and I could get this term wrong, but I think she's paraplegic. So she has use of her arms and hands and her head, but that's it. She's in a wheelchair, and doesn't stop her. She works, and she's really really bright, real sweet, and she's a really good bird photographer. she's got this really cool wheelchair. It's almost like I wish I had to use a wheelchair. This thing, it looked like a really cool hot rod. I mean, it just was gorgeous. But she had built or machined uh, all that she needed to hold her gear, her camera, her lens, and make her completely mobile, even though she's in a wheelchair. And she's out there shooting. So, it leaves none of us who have all our quote unquote faculties, be it physical or mental, for not embracing the possibility that what we're going to do could end up in failure that we could and should and will build on and become better photographers. You have to fail and overcome. My last quote comes from Ben Franklin. He said, "Do not fear mistakes. You will know failure. Continue to reach out." Uh, I mean, it just sums it all up in so many different ways. We have to continue to understand that failure is part of it and not be afraid of it. Don't fear it. I don't want you going out saying, "I'm going to fail today, so it's going to be a great day." That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're going to go out and say, "I'm going to make this the best day possible." And you're going to I'm going to always try to do the very best I can. It does not mean, okay, that whether it's because of you or other circumstances, you don't go down or your photography doesn't go down in glorious flames. I've had that way too much. Have it on my own personal projects. I've had it when I'm working for clients. It's part of being human. It's part of being a photographer. And it's a big part of wanting to do the best you possibly can every time you go out. Now, I think it's a bigger failure and one that doesn't get recognized, and I don't think we beat ourselves up enough for it, is when we fail to live up to that possibility of doing the best we can. We don't live up to the possibility of exploring our imagination. When we don't tap our passion, I think that failure, which is probably the biggest, the worst, is one that nobody wants to ever admit to. When people say, it's got to be the lens, it's got to be the body, no, it's really comes down to the one that's driving that whole process, and that's us. So remember that you're in really, really, really great company. Some of the most famous, brilliant people you can think of had failures. So, hey, become a club member. I know I've got my card fully stamped and authorized, and fail and overcome. You guys have a great week and make every click your story.